Tries that for lifestyle around the city, and the Rebound Rundown covers every corner of the college basketball scene in the tri-state and beyond. This is The Crown. Built for Cincinnati. First word for your morning sports, the working lunch for business that hits home. Nat Tries that for lifestyle around the city, and Rebound Rundown for college hoops. This city deserves its crown. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Midday in the Queen City, business is booming, still cleaning up and trying to get plugged back in, and destruction before construction. Let's do lunch.
Cincinnati is a city that means business. Fortune 500 company HQs, renowned institutions like Children's Hospital and the Cincinnati Zoo, and letters that everyone here knows: TQL, GE, CVG, UC, and X. It's also a city that's large enough for new ideas to take root and grow. You know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and you're in business. I'm Jack Crumley, and this is The Working Lunch.
Hi there, how are you? Welcome to The Working Lunch. I'm Jack Crumley. This is our hour-long business show here on The Crown, where we bring you updates on the activities of businesses and local companies. We bring you exclusive interviews with CEOs and local leaders, and we try to squeeze in a bite to eat, maybe something to drink before you go back to face the afternoon. We've got a big Friday show here for you. Glad to have you along. Cincinnati business headlines. Presented by First State Bank, built on belief and committed to doing right by our communities. First State Bank offers checking, savings, and mortgage services all from your phone. They believe in this community and they believe in you. Visit FSB4me.com. That's First State Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Let's start with this, taking a look at all the power outages that Duke Energy is still dealing with as of this morning. From that massive storm that ripped through this area on Tuesday, that map right there is with the power being restored to 85% of those who were knocked out back when the storm first came through. It has now been classified as a derecho by the National Weather Service. That is a widespread, long-lived storm with hurricane-force winds that just move in a straight line instead of in a circle like you'd see with a tornado. Damage over hundreds of miles. We really know this caused quite a bit of damage here in the area. The last time we saw that level of wind and damage in this area was in 2012, when 1 million Ohioans lost power in storms that struck all across the area. With all the crews that are currently in town working something like 16-hour days to get the wires strung back up and the power back on, YMCA Camp Ernst is housing restoration crews who traveled here to help. It's a big coordinated effort. Camp Ernst staff prepared cabins and readied the property on like 2 hours' notice. So crews arriving late Wednesday had a place to sleep before returning to the field. We still don't have an estimated restoration time for many of those outages. You saw all of them there. Still a lot of work to go. The misery also not over yet to our west. Dearborn County announced mandatory evacuations just last night because of continued flooding. Please be careful out there. Help your neighbors if you can. Moving on now, it is the end of an era as President and CEO of the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, Brent Cooper, has announced that the upcoming program year will be his last as he gets ready to focus on expanding his IT firm called C Forward. We will have more on this soon. Mark your calendars. Brent Cooper scheduled to be a guest here on The Working Lunch September 1st. That should be a really good conversation. Moving into restaurant news on this Friday, the Inquirer has this exclusive along with that photo. The restaurant Parkside, which is near Hyde Park Square, planning to make a move. It is slated to close soon and then reopen next on the corner of Erie and Edwards, moving into the former Mex Cantina spot that's right there on that corner. Parkside scene there has been going since 2023. This move is going to give diners more space as the main thing. Parkside is owned by Trevor Snowden, who also owns Dellwood in Mount Lookout Square. He tells the paper that he was going to move into that corner spot at Erie and Edwards regardless of the ongoing and at times controversial plans for a big redevelopment in a slightly different part of Hyde Park Square. Snowden planning to put a new restaurant into what will be the former Parkside spot. And overall, I got to say on this, I am optimistic. That corner of Erie and Edwards has seen a lot of different businesses over the 20 years that I can count back through, trying to make something work in that area. Snowden has been successful with Dellwood. Parkside's going strong. Hopefully this could bring some stability to that corner. Do have one other restaurant update for you. We do have an exclusive look taken by a very talented photographer at the Line this morning. That's for the new bagel group. Opened up in Northside. It opened this morning. We told you about it all yesterday. The Line this morning out the door for this employee-owned spot. And right after the show ended yesterday, management of that restaurant put up the sandwiches that will be on the menu. Couple of highlights here for you. There's Blotto's Revenge. That's like a BLT with onion, Swiss cheese, and brown mustard. I like that. Spicy Italian is on the garlic bagel. That's got salami, pepperoni, pepper jack, and banana peppers. I'm a sucker for a spicy Italian, and the garlic bagel looks fantastic. There's also the Wombo Combo, which is an everything bagel that has smoked cheddar, turkey, lettuce, pickles, Japanese barbecue, and chips on the sandwich. It's a tremendous sandwich choice. Those are more lunch-related bagel sandwiches. They do have some breakfast ones. There's a breakfast sandwich that I believe is called the Brunch Mama that has avocado on it. That looks very good. Listen, these all look great. I'm planning on waking up early tomorrow morning to stand in line for this. Bagel Group is in Northside on Hamilton Avenue near Chase. Going to be open every day from 7 to 2. Jack's Big Bite is where we focus on one particular story or topic in our community, a community we believe in with our partners at First State Bank. Stop into one of their local branches or visit online at fsb4me.com to access all the helpful tools and services at First State Bank, built on belief and committed to doing right by our communities. For today's Big Bite, presented by First State Bank, I've been thinking a lot about all the construction that we've talked about on this show, from the Convention Center Hotel work that's underway now to new development plans near TQL Stadium to that entire new neighborhood that's being built in Covington. Creation comes after destruction, and I thought it would be interesting to remember some big demolition projects here from the past, the ones that are ongoing, and then what those things turned into. We're going to start with a project that might be most top of mind when I talk about demolition. I bet a lot of you saw this with your own two eyes. Come back with me now to December 29th, 2002. That's cool looking. Shout out to O'Rourke Wrecking Company for that video. Synergy Field, formerly Riverfront Stadium, imploded on that date in 2002 using over 1,200 pounds of explosive, taking down 95,000 tons of steel, 70 miles of concrete, 600,000 square feet of masonry. The former home of the Reds and the Bengals, reduced to a giant pile in 37 seconds. And it is pretty wild to think that Great American Ballpark was just sitting there right next door. That's it, off to the right. 24 feet away from that massive controlled demolition that cost about $15 million. $15 million to tear down a stadium that cost about $50 million to build. A stadium that saw Hank Aaron tie Babe Ruth's home run record, where Pete Rose broke Ty Cobb's hitting record, and where the Bengals played one of the coldest football games of all time. Of course, that spot has since turned into the banks, the Holy Grail, AC Hotel, Cincinnati Lager House, all where Riverfront stood from 1970 to 2002. And we're going to stay with O'Rourke Wrecking as we head up to Mason in the fall of 2012. Take a look at this one now. This is a classic piece of demolition here. Now you can see that there's a cable that's attached to that excavator that is just yanking that down. That's son of the beast. Two other excavators there on scene that were off camera, but they all backed up and tore that thing down. Fascinated by that process being not demolition, really, not at least a controlled explosion. They just pull it down like Tinker Toys. Son of Beast opened at Kings Island in the year 2000. Promoted as the tallest and fastest wooden roller coaster in the world. 218 feet tall, a 214-foot drop with a vertical loop. And it hit an amazing 78 miles an hour. Son of Beast cost over $20 million. It had 6 incidents of guests being injured while riding from 2000 to 2009, more than any other ride in Ohio during that time period. It was idled repeatedly, including an incident in 2006 that injured 27 riders. Son of Beast was replaced by the Banshee, but its height and speed records remain unbroken. Shifting now to the University of Cincinnati for a building that went up in 1969 and made it to just this year. Demolition ongoing at Crumley Tower, which, for you nerds out there, looks like Nightwing, Starfire, and Beast Boy are about to come running out of any second. The 16-story building has some fascinating stats. It's a great example of brutalist architecture, minimalist construction that emphasizes bare building materials and structure over decoration. The tower was a symbol of the university, visible from most areas on campus. It was also the second largest continuous pour concrete structure in the U.S. Right behind, anybody? Right after the Hoover Dam. Erected over 18 days using that continuous pour method, construction of Crumley Tower cost $5 million in 1969, which would run, I did the math, about $45 million today. Architectural Digest in the year 2017 ranked it at the top of a list of ugliest university buildings, which I think that's mean. I think it looks cool. But after issues like crumbling exterior, a sinking foundation, and leaky ceilings, UC announced demolition plans in 2018, and that is ongoing to this day. You want to see some cool demolition footage from right downtown very recently?
I'm Mike Sulkin. I'm the job site superintendent. We're at the Crew Tower, which was built in 1930. We are gutting all the walls, ceiling, lights, grid, ductwork. Everything comes down to bare plaster. These guys do the whole entire demo. Crew of 5 is basically the ones that tore every wall, every ceiling. Honestly, it's amazing the pace that these guys have done. She'll bring down the full
Green City demolition with that video from last fall. Built in 1930, Carew Tower stands 49 stories tall and was the tallest building in Cincinnati for over 80 years. Designed in the Art Deco style, it was once considered a model for the Empire State Building. Today, it remains on the National Register of Historic Places. Carew Tower was bought by a New York-based company for $18 million back in 2022 for a radical renovation. The state of Ohio kicking in over $6 million for remediation, which includes asbestos abatement. You saw those guys inside with the masks on. Interior demolition going on, as documented in that video, and a full roof replacement. That's a lot of work. It's a $162 million project, creating hundreds of apartments. Should be done by the end of 2029. We do have one last bit of demolition for you. Let's go back to 1972, courtesy of friend of the show, Cam Miller. Some really nice footage that Cam got for his Crumley Field retrospective. The Reds played their last game there in 1970, and the vacant stadium was used as a municipal car impound lot for nearly 2 years. There he is right there. That is Pete Rose Jr., who famously pulled the lever to launch the wrecking ball. Site of the old Crumley Field now occupied by industrial and commercial buildings, a parking lot, the city gospel missions right in there. Dalton Avenue runs directly through where the old outfield used to be. Thanks, Cam, for that. Changing times here in Cincinnati, certainly more on the way. That's your Big Bite. Speaking of constructing big changes, work is ramping up on the Brent Spence Corridor project. We've got an in-depth update on that coming up. You're watching the Working Lunch on the Crown. Stick around, won't you? Big Friday show, more to come.
This Cincinnati has felt like home since day one.
James Rapine, Jacob Tissett, Paul Fritz,
Jack Crumley.
The wait is over.
The working lunch.
Built for this city.
What is The Crown? It's simple, really. Authentic Cincinnati entertainment. Not hot takes from a studio 3 states away. Not national noise pretending to know this city. Rather, bringing a voice to those who call the Queen City home. Where can I watch The Crown shows? Join us live from 7 to 11 a.m. for First Word and 12 to 1 for the Working Lunch on RESN. No live TV? No problem. Stream and interact with all of our content on major podcast, broadcast, and streaming platforms. The Crown is Cincinnati. Loud, passionate, competitive, proud. From early morning sports debates to the business leaders shaping the riverfront, to the fans, stories, moments, and culture that make this place move. Live shows, podcasts, documentaries, digital content built from Cincinnati, for Cincinnati. This is The Crown.
Our beliefs matter. They're reflected in our words and actions. At First State Bank, we believe in treating people well, and have since 1884. Listening, caring, looking out for each other. It's what people deserve. It's what a real local bank does. While lots of things have changed over the years, our belief in you hasn't. First State Bank, built on belief.
Welcome back to the Working Lunch. I'm Jack Crumley. Glad to have you here. Big Friday show. The theme that we've got building for today's show really is, say it, David, changes, big plans for new buildings, tearing down old ones, making big moves in the city, deals and more. We're still waiting to hear back from Cincinnati city leaders about that new downtown plan. Very excited to find out what the specifics on that are. One of the biggest long-term projects happening right now in this area is the Brent Spence Corridor project, ultimately set to build a new interstate bridge over the Ohio River and make some major changes to miles of land approaching it on either side, both through Cincinnati and coming north through Kentucky. It's already causing traffic frustration, especially in Covington. We'll have some more on that in just a moment. We did get an update just recently from big project leaders the other day, and I wanted to share it with you. There's a lot of info here. Check it out.
Hello, I'm Scott LeBlanc, and I'm the construction lead for the Ohio Department of Transportation on the Brent-Spence Corridor project.
And I'm Talia Cottle, the construction lead for this project for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. Today we want to talk with you all a little bit about the construction activities you should expect to see over the next several months.
And also why those activities are important to the success of the project that will improve safety, traffic flow, and connection to our communities.
Over the next couple of months, we're going to be working pretty heavily on the west side of the interstate, getting that work ready, getting that platform ready so then we can shift traffic over there and then work on the east side of the bridge. One of our commitments for this project was to really preserve the 12th Street, 11th Street neighborhood area. One way we do that is by narrowing our footprint of the actual corridor. We're using retaining walls to build up the roadway so that we don't have to go too wide and we have minimal impacts on the communities.
And the 2nd Street area is our first major closure in Ohio. That's going to allow us to demolish 2 of the existing ramps in that area, which will allow the access for our future work. It is a very complicated interchange. You have I-71, I-75, and US 50 all converging there at that one place. Changing the alignment of those structures that we're demolishing is actually freeing up around 11 acres of green space for future development.
Crews are currently working on the Pete Rose Pier bulkhead down at Scribble Park in the Covington area. This is really to build us a working platform. Once Pete Rose Pier bulkhead is installed, we will then transition over to actually begin construction on the companion bridge. We'll begin by building another temporary bulkhead to allow us to build Pylon 2, which is that first pylon in the river on the Kentucky side.
We are doing a partial demolition and then rehabilitation of Longworth Hall. We do need to remove about 200 feet off of the east end of the structure. That will allow us to build the new alignment for the approach bridges into the new companion bridge. You'll see that building come down. Then we are going to build a facade on the east end of the building, which will replicate the original construction from back in the early 1900s.
We are closing down roads that you're used to taking every day, but we're doing everything we can to keep those connections open. I'm constantly thinking about how that impacts me. I drive over the Brent-Spence Bridge every day. I'm thinking, okay, if I'm going northbound, how am I gonna get off on 2nd Street in Ohio?
We have social media, we have our website. Obviously, stay in tune with the local news. Use your travel apps like Waze and Ogo. So all those things will allow you to pick the right time of day and choose the best routes.
So obviously that's a lot. This is a multi-billion-dollar project that's going to take for years, and all that work is causing some traffic disruptions for now, likely more to come. That work's having a big impact in Covington currently, surface streets being affected, some interstate ramps closed, a lot of detours being instituted, and that all has an effect on local businesses. We've already seen an announcement by Lease Steakhouse in the Covington area announcing that it is shutting down due to a lack of traffic coming through. We also saw headlines months ago that Conveyor Belt Books was actually moving from Covington onto the Ohio side of the river, finding an opportunity for a new place and getting out of the area altogether just to try to increase foot traffic that's available to them. Trying to mitigate the effect on businesses, the City of Covington has launched the Bridging the Gap program. That's a community-driven effort to support the restaurants and bars and retailers that make that part of the city vibrant. The goal of the program, keep customers coming through the doors of Covington's small businesses during bridge construction by highlighting special offers and deals and discounts that are available for everyone who lives in the area, folks who make it a point to drive to there, and even folks passing through who could visit. These specials make it easier to keep supporting local. It's going to be a big drive now for the next few years. You can see that website, covington.ky.gov/bridgingthegap. A list of businesses that are running different specials, giving people a reason to go out of their way and shop and eat there, some happy hour deals and more. This is a really trying time for them, and the city of Covington is doing what it can to try to help get the word out. Discounts when you mention bridging the gap, like I said, happy hour specials, different hours and more, all trying to give a reason for people to deal with those traffic concerns. Covington also secured nearly $2 million, actually about $1.75 million in funding from the state of Kentucky, trying to help with marketing and beautification and wayfinding in promoting these various companies. You can see right there, that's some current traffic issues that are affecting northern Kentucky, affecting those ramps there to MLK, and that's forcing a lot of people to have to detour up to 5th Street and then loop back around. It's going to be a headache. Those of you that drive it or try to drive through it know, and it's not going to be necessarily getting any better anytime soon. The city of Covington has no say in this. This is a big state and federal project. They are doing everything they can to minimize the impact on business owners. The Ohio side right now is more about changes in traffic patterns. Certainly the Lynn Street Bridge is being affected, and we've seen some lane restrictions because of that. But there will be a time when exits and businesses are affected as well, more so on the Ohio side. Federal Highway Administrator Sean McMaster visited the area just this week for the Mid-America Association of Transportation Officials Conference, the MAAOTO conference, as we all know it. The group toured the project's construction sites, including a stop at Longworth Hall, get a first-hand look at the progress that's being made on the project. McMaster said he found all of this progress really exciting. Considering this project was so long in the making, he told folks there that he couldn't be happier about what's been done so far. There he is at Longworth Hall, calling it one of the biggest and most nationally significant projects going on right now in the country. More cranes and more barges are showing up along the river. Temporary dock under the Clay Wade Bailey Bridge. You heard him reference that in the video, called Pete Rose Pier. That's how construction equipment is being shipped in and offloaded. McMaster is asking people to be patient, saying that there will be more visible signs of progress soon. Next 6 months especially, you'll see some new things cropping up. The Brent Spence Corridor project is running about $4.5 billion, although that's still a little bit of an estimate. Not all pricing locked in on that. Could be more, could be less, but we always anticipate more. 6 million hours of work being performed by roughly 1,000 workers, many hundreds of them skilled trades workers, all under the leadership of Walsh-Kokosing. That new companion bridge, which has yet to be named, by the way. The Brent Spence is going to stick around. That's going to be for local traffic. The new companion bridge going to carry interstate traffic. Don't have a name on it yet. That could be an interesting topic down the road. That new companion bridge should be open to traffic by the year 2031. Everybody in this region just counting the days. We're going to take another break. When we come back, I'll be joined by the Rebound Rundown's Paul Fritchner, who is certainly having himself a day here on shows on The Crown. I've got some different topics to address with him about sports sales. He knows about the sports. I'm going to talk about the sales part, and we'll have more coming up. Stick around. You're watching The Working Lunch on The Crown.
We've been growing since 1946. As your Kubota dealer, our focus is to help you grow today and into the future. Stop by one of our locations today, visit with our folks, and see our entire lineup of Kubota products.
Our business is helping you grow. Bachelor Tractor.
Okay, who are you?
Well, you have a First State Bank checking account, so you'll be getting cash back whenever you use it.
Oh.
Open a checking account at First State Bank for cash back. First State Bank, built on belief.
How did you get in here?
Every morning, Cincinnati wakes up and gets to work. Companies are built, deals are made, restaurants open, ideas become careers, and every day the people behind it all sit down at the working lunch. Founders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, community leaders, the people building Cincinnati. The Working Lunch with Jack Crumley, weekdays, noon to 1, only on The Crown.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you these stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
Welcome back to the Working Lunch. I'm Jack Crumley. Whenever there is sports business news that breaks out in the world, I can only handle so much. There's only so much information that I can fit in this head. So there are times when I need to turn to a colleague for help, and grateful to have Paul Fritchner joining us here on the Working Lunch. It's Fritchner Friday here on The Crown. This is a themed thing that I was unaware of, that I guess is a thing now that we're doing next week. Do I need to make plans next week too?
You've seen Inception. You're a movie guy.
I am.
Okay, you just incept people's brains into knowing that today is Fritchner Friday. You concoct something out of nothing, and here you are. It's like you never know where you started, right? You get into a dream, you just never know where you start.
It just picks up.
You're just in the middle of it. We're in the middle of a Fritchner Friday.
Well, host of the Rebound Rundown, Paul Fritchner, joining us here because there's a couple topics that are sports related that I'm curious to sort of get the sports angle on. Big announcement this week that the Lakers have been sold, bought by former Disney CEO Bob Iger, along with a Kushner, who I believe is related to Jared Kushner of right. White House fame, for $12.5 billion. That's a lot of money for a basketball team.
It's a lot of money for a basketball team, and it's a lot of money for a basketball team that was just purchased for $10 billion 10 months ago, or a year ago, whenever it was. Recently, in 2025, the Lakers were sold and purchased for $10 billion by a previous owner who a lot of people around the league, Jack, were really excited about. It's the same owner, majority owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and obviously we've seen what the Dodgers have done recently in becoming the team to really carry the torch of Major League Baseball right now from a salary perspective. A lot of the league, a lot of the fans hate the Dodgers because they feel like they're ruining baseball. You just go out there and you throw $1 billion at somebody because you can spend the money. They're not afraid of any extra spend in baseball. They'll do whatever it takes. They defer all this money. A lot of people don't like the Dodgers for that reason, the way they have structured their contracts. But what have they done? They just keep winning when it matters in the postseason. So you look at the Lakers. They won I was about to say the national title as somebody that covers college basketball. They won the NBA Finals.
Which is a national title.
That's true.
I would give you the benefit of the
world
doubt
title, for sure. Let's just wrap it all up into one.
It's funny how a team from America keeps winning the world title on these things.
For sure. And they won the Larry O'Brien Trophy in the bubble in 2020. And so you're thinking to yourself, how can you kind of replicate that success going forward? They haven't had as much success in the last several seasons. They've had LeBron James, LeBron getting up there in age, obviously, but now LeBron decides to go to Philly. And where do the Lakers sit? Well, there was a lot of optimism about the future because of this ownership group that now we find out just sold. And the report was, I'm not on the inside of these things, but the report, Jack, was that this sale and these discussions didn't really get moving in full gear until Sunday, and we heard about this on Wednesday.
Right. Yeah, which is a really quick turnaround. The team purchased by Mark Walter, who you mentioned, with his other sports endeavors. You know, talking about the money angle of this, he bought that team for $10 billion somewhat recently, and now it turns around and sells for $12.5 here in 2026. He gave a quote at the time of the sale being announced, saying that owning the Los Angeles Lakers has been one of the great honors of my life, an extraordinary investment, like the next thing that he says. It wasn't a long honor of his life, and certainly he was able to cash in on this. There is one other element on this that I guess we would be remiss if we didn't bring up when it comes to the man who is selling this team now to Iger and Kushner. Walter built his financial empire in the insurance industry. He is currently under federal investigation for alleged tax fraud by other companies tied to him. U.S. prosecutors in Manhattan are investigating. The SEC also investigating. That feels like it's going to be hard, or maybe a good reason to get a big check written to.
That was going to be my next point, is that there might be some underlying themes here as to why maybe he needed to sell the Lakers at this point. We don't know. We absolutely do not know. We're dialed into the Cincinnati business scene here. We're not as dialed in, or at least I'm not. I don't want to speak for you. Maybe you've got ties. You're a film guy. Maybe you've got ties out there in L.A. and Hollywood.
I'd rather not say.
Yeah, I think there is just a very, very interesting scenario here. Not only that the Lakers are being sold right away, 12 months later, whatever it is, it's to Kushner and Iger, and somebody in Bob Iger that is very, very close. I was reading an article just before I came on here about Bob Iger and Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, saying that not only are they close professional business friends, they're vacation together close. And I think that speaks to, obviously what could be the success of this deal in the sense of getting it done. That when you have Adam Silver working with Disney, when I talked about the bubble and the Lakers winning that championship in the bubble, that was in Orlando, that was in Florida. They did that bubble in 2020 in Florida. Yeah. It was really one of the great accomplishments of the time, what the NBA was able to pull off in that COVID bubble and finish that season. And a lot of that was due to the cooperation of Disney and that facility and what Bob Iger spearheaded there doing that entire project. So, it's just fascinating to me that here we are 12 or 13 months, however long it's been, calendar year 2025, that the Lakers are back up for sale and it's closed.
And coming in, making money on it. It's not that way. Going on vacation with coworkers isn't that. Jacob Tissett and I are doing a weekend away up in Michigan next month.
I didn't get what?
Well, we talked about it. Just for perspective, too. I just want to say, for perspective, as far as this being a $12.5 million price tag for the Lakers, in terms of local team valuation, the Bengals clocking in valued at $7.5 billion, the Reds about $1.6 billion, and FC Cincinnati estimated about $800 million for a local perspective on the value of teams.
Yeah, you would look at the Lakers, and I'm sure people sitting here would say, I was listening to Bill Simmons yesterday, one of the largest voices in sports media. Bill Simmons is obviously on the record as being his career as a diehard Celtics guy, and he was talking about, look, the Lakers and the Knicks are the two crown jewels from a value and a franchise perspective in the NBA and what they bring to the league. The Lakers are the preeminent value organization. You think of the NFL, you think the Cowboys, right? America's team. Right. You look at the Lakers. I'm not saying that everybody in America loves them. I'm saying that the Lakers are the notable team in the NBA from a value perspective, for sure.
Valued at $12.5 billion. So,
they're valued at what people will pay for them, and they're paying $12.5 billion.
Speaking of money and speaking of what people are willing to pay, one of the other big sports stories that has been going on for a while now is what's going on with FIFA. So FIFA had a very successful World Cup here. Everybody had a great time. It was a lot of fun. But now the backlash is really kicking in for FIFA president Gianni Infantino, as he is looking to be reelected president of FIFA, while at the same time suggesting that they would make a sale to private equity, 20% to private investors. What is this?
What is this? It's absolutely ridiculous is what this is, and I'm very glad that it is not happening. This deal is dead. It's not going to happen. But essentially, FIFA wanted to privatize a lot of the organization. And pretty much unanimously, I don't even know if there were any countries, I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there were any countries or organizations. I know UEFA came out strongly against it. United States Soccer came out against it. Pretty much CONCACAF, everybody, pretty much unanimously across the board. I want to say unanimously, but I don't want to speak for it in case there were anybody in support of it. Completely against the idea of taking FIFA private necessarily, and it is a ridiculous claim, I think, here. I really don't even understand it. You think of FIFA, or you think of soccer in the global sense. What is soccer? It's an opportunity. It's the most popular sport in the world because it gives anybody at any time, at any economic level, the ability to go out and be athletic and play a sport. You know, it's as they would always say, the poor man's game, right? I mean, that's
can you run around, you can play.
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of discussion here in the United States with the pay-to-play and building up the infrastructure of U.S. soccer and how that all looks. But on the world stage, this is insulting to the sport of soccer, to football internationally.
So is this just, I mean, is the allegation that Infantino was going to be cashing in on a personal level, or is this him doing a favor for friends?
Take your pick.
We don't know.
Take your pick. Take your pick on that. I think it's ridiculous again. I'm glad it's not happening. I'm glad all these soccer federations very vocally came out against it in unison, said, look, if this happens, we're not going to play in the World Cup. That's what this is all built around. And not only am I going to be interested to see what happens in March when Infantino's up for re-election.
Right.
Jack, I'm interested to see if off the heels of this, if he even makes it to March, or if they put him up to a vote of no confidence.
Well, so that's certainly a possibility. And then also just the idea, New Zealand, just the other day, the latest country to withdraw its support for Infantino. There's a number of countries that are calling for independent investigations, trying to find out what the origins of this are, trying to find out who's going to benefit from it, what the plan is. Not necessarily smooth sailing, coming off, again, of a very successful World Cup.
Can I withdraw my support?
You have to give it first before you can withdraw it.
Okay. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'll support him. I'm back out.
There. Yeah, it's like hokey pokey in here between being in and out.
Yeah.
I do have one other bit of news that I want to cover with you, Paul. This is a pleasant surprise because you've been asking me recently about where we're at when it comes to daylight savings time.
We're doing this live.
And I wanted to give you a special little reward on a Friday for thank you for helping us out. There is a bill that's been proposed in Congress called the Sunshine Protection Act, which would make it so daylight saving time goes all year long. This is something that we tried back in the 70s, for those of you with memories. It did pass in the House. It has not yet been picked up in the Senate. Senate Majority Leader John Thune being a little bit coy about whether or not this is going to get any support in the Senate. There's a number of senators who've already come out against it.
So that was my question to you. Is this just a headline? Is this just a press release? Is this just something that they're talking about? Or is this something that's actually going to get done? I think it is pretty clear that the way we are doing it right now is not how we should be doing it. Mm-hmm. But whether it's daylight savings time or whether it's standard time, that's the argument. And there's legitimate arguments on both sides. But the switching back and forth here, I think, is pretty universally agreed on at the top by experts that we shouldn't be doing it that way.
There are, certainly sleep experts are against it. There were a lot of reports back in the 70s when we tried this, when Congress did pass a bill for it. It ultimately got repealed because it was so unpopular. There were stories of kids walking to school in the dark and getting hit by cars. There's a number of industries that can't really get to work until the sun is up. And I was doing a little bit of research here. If this were to happen, the biggest change coming in winter, both sunrise and sunset, would shift 1 hour later. On the winter solstice in December, we would be looking at sunrise here in Cincinnati at just before 9 a.m.
I was going to say, I think if you look at the map of when sunrise happens, somebody broke it down and did all the major cities in the country of when sunrise would happen. Cincinnati and Indianapolis were by far the two hardest hit cities.
Wouldn't be great.
Because of where we are in the Eastern time zone, on the westernmost edge of the Eastern time zone. Can you imagine? I mean, they're halfway through first word and the sun's still not. We've got to change the windows back here. What are we doing?
While you were sleeping would be like a 3-hour segment, man.
The whole show is just while you slept.
As you like to say, less than ideal.
Not ideal.
Not ideal at all. The president just this week did put out some new online posting of support for it. He wants to get this done. We'll see what the Senate Majority Leader.
What do you think?
Listen, no one likes the shift in time, but like this is what we're doing, and I don't. The idea that we did it before decades ago and nobody liked it, and it got passed as a law then, nobody liked it, it got repealed. Like that's a lot of work to do twice, and the idea of us going through that same thing again when we sort of know how this song goes, we've seen this movie before. Why would we want to chew our cabbage twice, as my mom would say?
So should we just stay on standard time?
No, I think we could just do the switch and just deal with it.
You're a big switch guy.
I'm not a big switch guy, but I'm also not a big switch to a different kind of switch. Paul Fritchner is the host of the Rebound Rundown right here on The Crown. New shows all the time. Big fast food guy, as we all know. Welcome back to the light.
Yeah, the land of power.
You're back with electricity all around. It's great. We got to take a break. We've got more Working Lunch coming up after this. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Do the big shake right on camera. Get everybody to see it.
The Crown has you covered. Start your day with First Word, Cincinnati's only morning sports show. Power through midday with the Working Lunch, Cincinnati business talk that keeps you in the know. Nat tries that for lifestyle around the city. And the Rebound Rundown covers every corner of the college basketball scene in the tri-state and beyond. This is The Crown. First Word for your morning sports. Nat tries that for lifestyle around the city. The Working Lunch for business that hits home. And Rebound Rundown for college hoops. This city deserves its crown. Watch, listen, subscribe.
On the radio here in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati has always felt like home.
Right here on the Crown Network.
Out and about in Cincinnati, bringing you the stories that you need to hear in the Queen City.
Cincinnati sports fans are the best. Loyal, passionate, second to none. This city lives and breathes sports, and now it finally has a morning show to match. I'm James Rapine, and this is First Word, the only morning sports show in Cincinnati and the place where every day starts. We break down the biggest moments and set the agenda for the city. Marissa Contepelli and Jacob Tissett join me to bring the insight and energy you need to start your day. The conversation starts with First Word. First Word, weekdays 7 to 11, part of the Crown Network.
Our beliefs matter. They're reflected in our words and actions. At First State Bank, we believe in treating people well and have since 1884. Listening, caring, looking out for each other. It's what people deserve. It's what a real local bank does. While lots of things have changed over the years, our belief in you hasn't. First State Bank, built on belief.
Welcome back to the Working Lunch. Here we are on a Friday. You know, we are a big fan of the movies here. Spider-Man continues his domination of the box office, but we do have a new contender from Warner Brothers looking to take a bite out of a piece of that pie. Let's take a look.
Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. They're a modern sonic family. When's your
Run! Get inside now!
Mom, look! What the hell's going on?
I think that our neighborhood has moved.
So that looks nice and calm. There is a previous version of that trailer that uses a slowed down version of Billy Joel's My Life in this really on the nose way that I couldn't tell if they were trying to be funny or not. The End of Oak Street is a movie produced by J.J. Abrams, and from some of what I read, it doesn't really do that postmodern Marvel Studios irony thing where there's something shocking that happens and the character stands there and says, well, that happened. Like, apparently this is pretty earnest as far as being an action family PG-13 thriller. Doing something different like that, that's a welcome change. Deadline says that Thursday previews for The End of Oak Street did about $2 million yesterday. It is rated PG-13. It's tracking a bit more family-oriented, even with all that action. Also, women as audience members for this movie is an interesting demo, as there is a thought apparently by the studio that Anne Hathaway fans are going to come out for it. We'll see how it shakes out after the weekend. But Spider-Man Brand New Day just keeps chugging along. It hit the $700 million mark. That's Spider-Man right there holding back all of the money that is flowing toward him. $700 million at the domestic box office this week. Spider-Man Brand New Day is now the fastest movie to ever do that. It made that money in 13 days. Before now, Star Wars The Force Awakens and Avengers Endgame were tied as the fastest movies to hit $700 million. They did that in 16 days. Spider-Man doing that in 13. Brand New Day right now, the 6th highest grossing movie ever in the U.S. And the worldwide take for that movie now at more than $1.1 billion. Brand New Day's foreign box office is the 10th highest ever for any movie in the world. We'll check weekend numbers on Monday. Do want to let you know about one other thing. New Oreos are dropping. This is exciting. I'm always a fan of new flavors of things. Oreo doing a fan vote with new flavors. You can see them right there. So here we go left to right. Banana pudding, that's an interesting choice. I like that. Chicken and waffles, I think, is brilliant, especially if you can get the flavor profile just right. But for my money, deep fried Oreo, flavored Oreos, I think is incredible. That seems like the front runner to me. We'll see how things all shake out. I can imagine people who are going to take the time to actually deep fry the deep fried flavored Oreo, so reality can collapse in on itself and we can all have a really fun time. Starting Monday, all 3 of those flavors are going to be available for pre-sale at oreo.com/unwrapthecollab. That's a bad URL. They're going to hit stores August 24th for a limited time. Voting window goes into October, and as a reward, every eligible vote submitted automatically enters customers into a sweepstakes where you can win Oreo cookies for a year. Winning flavor going to be crowned October 13th. Again, deep fried Oreos got my vote. Hey, thanks very much for watching the show. Thanks to Paul Fritchner for coming on and helping us out today. It's been a great week. Thank you for watching. Tell a friend about the show. I dare you to do that. We're having a great time. We're back on Monday at noon for more Working Lunch. Really appreciate you checking out all of our shows here on The Crown, CincyCrown.com. We're out. Have a great weekend.